a pastor walking down the street, and he sees this little kid trying to reach up to push the doorbell. And he's on his tippy toes, and he can't reach it. So the pastor walks over to him, picks him up, and with a big giggle, that boy gives that buzzer a big pump, big, strong pump. And he puts the boy down, and he leans down to him and says, "Okay, little man, now what?" And the little boy goes, "Now we run." Divine appointment. We're all in this together. You just don't know sometimes what you're getting into, right? There was this show on TV called Lost. Anybody here seen it? That show, the ending of that show really moved me. You had all these people who had gone through this amazing adventure together, and then at the end of the show, they come together because they all have died and celebrate what they had been through together. And what I loved about that was that they even invited in the bad guys. Because if there weren't bad guys, there would have been no adventure. And I thought about that, how we're all in this together. You know, one of the things that occurs to me is that it is really possible that there's this huge group of beings, spiritual beings, that we come together with before we're born. And we divide up what parts we're going to play in life. Not how it's going to play out, but the parts we're going to play. Because imagine wanting to come into this world to be a doctor and there's nobody sick. Or imagine coming into this world wanting to be a policeman and there's no robbers. So there's all these different parts that everybody comes into play that we then come in to be together. Can you see what I'm getting at here? So I know sometimes we're all like, there's got to be peace, and war is bad, and this is bad, and that is bad. And yet there are some people who, when they do that, give the rest of us an opportunity to rise. Because we don't know ahead of time what it was we came in here to do. But once we're here, we get a sense of that, and we get led to it, right? I mean, anybody who's been in this teaching for a while knows that after a while, you've actually start getting a feel for what it is that moves you, what it is that gets you to rise. And a lot of times, what it does, the reason you've had that calling is because you've seen in the world something that you feel really could use you in that area. And if that area wasn't there and it couldn't use you, then what? Now, one of my biggest issues in life that I'm dealing with is customer service people on the phone. And I get on with them, and sometimes what they're saying to me doesn't make any sense. What they're saying to me doesn't feel like there being any customer service at all. And what I notice in myself is a rise in frustration because I have this need. I called them because I have a need to be fulfilled. Have you ever experienced that, calling a customer service person because you had a need to be fulfilled? Okay. So there have been times in my life, I hate to admit this, that I have lost my cool with these people and said some things that I wish I'd rather have not said, even though it led to me getting what I wanted. Right? I get off the phone. They gave me what I wanted. Somehow I got through to them, but I still don't feel very good about it. And what it is I've forgotten that this was my opportunity to rise higher than my need. This was my opportunity to be greater than whatever the reason was I called in the first place. Now, the good news about customer service people is I'm going to have lots more opportunities. There is no end to the opportunities that we have if we have internet, if we have a phone, if we have a TV, we have banking, we have an unlimited amount of possibilities for calling customer service people and having that be an entirely different experience. Now, one of the things that I've noticed about that experience for myself is if I call up and my need is still my priority, I will do my best to be nice, but I'm still on edge. And then I realize I actually have an opportunity to rise up even further. To allow the call to go, to know that my highest good exists without pushing my need. Wouldn't that be a different experience? Leading back to our identity prayer of just knowing that our good is here, whether our need is fulfilled on this particular call or not, our good is here. Rumi says, if you are irritated by every rub, how will your mirror ever get polished? And so we are left in a world in which we are constantly getting rubbed. And I know for myself, I have spent a lot of time being irritated by those rubs. Have you? I mean, am I alone in this? Well, okay then. And not taking the opportunity that I had, for allowing my mirror to be polished. Dr. Holmes tells us, we already have within us the key to freedom, but we must come to realize our relationship to the whole. This relationship is one of complete unity. Complete unity. That means we're all in this together. Because how can we have complete unity if we're not in all this together? Which means the person we think is against us, the person we think is not on our side, actually is, even though we're not feeling it right now. Right? That's the thing. So, how do you get to that place of feeling it right now? How do you get to that place where what you want to do in this situation is get bigger than your need? My wife came up with actually the perfect line for that. She says, anchor in your higher self. Anchor in it. What does that mean? What does that mean to anchor in your higher self? Well, a lot of it has to do with that quote that we just saw from Emma Hopkins about how Jesus was unconcerned with this life. Now, to be honest, I have a little bit of issue with that. I don't have issue with the idea of letting go of worry and anxiety. But I do believe that we don't have to let go of our dreams. We just have to let go of how they show up. We just have to let go of the path. I think that many of us are struck too hard by the line, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. That may be true in math, but not so much in life. But I think sometimes that idea of efficiency, getting things done quickly, getting them done boom, 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 gets in our way of the majesty of what life really has to offer. Dr. Holmes goes on to say, this teaching should not be confused with the idea that we can show people how to get what they want. For mental science does not promise anything that will do away with the necessity of complying with the law. And so what is the law? The law is that there is only one. The law is that there is only love. And the law is that our good wins if we're willing to see beyond our immediate need and anchor in our higher self. Man, I don't know about you, but that sounds scary to me. You know? What do you mean, let go of my immediate need? I have an immediate need. What do you mean, let go of my immediate need? You know, I don't know about you, but sometimes I want to handle my immediate need. And yet, the law says we need to rise above that. The law says what's bigger for us is that sense of something greater. That each of us has an opportunity for something greater in each and every moment if we are willing to anchor in our higher self and let go of what that earthly thing is without letting go of our dream. I want to really insist upon that we get to have our dreams in life. We came here with a divine appointment for what we were meant to do. And whatever rises in you around that, you have every resource to do, and so you don't need to give up anything except how it shows up. And I know that sometimes that's like the biggest thing to give up of all, right? How it shows up. Oh, man. Sometimes we want to get so down into how things show up because, you know. And so I have heard 1,000,000 times people say to me, but Rev Cliff, I already know this. You're not telling me anything new. And I'll say to you, you're right. There's nothing new here. New thought happened over 200 years ago. That means it's not going to be so new anymore. So what's the point of hearing the same thing over and over since you already know it? The point is, I don't know about you, but I need the reminder. I need the reminder again and again and again, as often as I can get it. And I'll tell you, the people in this center who are doing more than showing up on Sunday, showing up to classes, sitting in circle with Ash and I, they're the ones that are getting that reminder even more, and some of the rising and the changes that are happening in their lives is extraordinary. They are happy to hear it again and again and again because that's what creates real and lasting change. Because a habit takes time to develop. You know, anchoring in our higher selves. Imagine going to the gym 1 day a week. Do you think that you would actually accomplish getting that bod that you're after? 1 day a week? No. So what makes us think our consciousness can just grow from 1 day a week? So yeah, you know, I kind of harp on this week after week after week, saying, hey, come back more than just Sundays because that's how this stuff really sinks in. Amen. That's the practice. That's what we're here to do. So if I'm saying something you already know, I would say rise up, anchor in your larger self, hear what I'm saying a little differently, let it sink in. As I've said before, the longest journey is between here and here. And just because you think you know it here, if your life isn't soaring, you don't yet have it all here. And that's what we're after here, is to actually have it here. Me too. So my thing is customer service people. What's yours? You know, take a look at that. Where's your edge? I ask the people who sit with me all the time, in my class, on the Rise Up class, in my men's circle, where's your edge? What's the next thing for you that you're up against? Because there's always something. You know, we're like artichokes where the heart's in the center, except the peeling parts is way larger than any artichoke I've ever seen. And we just keep taking off layer after layer after layer to get to that place of rising up. I have a poem here by Rubin, because, you know, I love Rumi. I mean, who doesn't? You know, it's called the guest house. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep through your house, empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Ooh. Each has been sent as a guide from beyond. So rise up with me to that place of seeing God in everyone and everything. Rise up with me to find that gentle calm and knowing that whatever is going on, there is something greater going on that we can anchor in our higher self in. Rise up with me so that love wins. Rise up with me so that we can be that example that actually shapes the world. Rise up with me so that we can know our good, and the good of everyone is here every moment of every day. We have a divine appointment. We're all in this together. And when it's time to go out, we will laugh about our adventures. There is something beautiful, magnificent about being human and having a life. Let's enjoy it fully. Thank you. I love you. All right. Thank you. Take out what you're going to give. Take out what you're going to give, because giving is the way to get things in motion for receiving. The more you give, the more you receive. This is the law of the universe. How does the universe work? We're all in this together. There's this big flow going on, and we are all in it. So take out what you're going to give and hold it in your hand. Don't fold it up. Hold it in your hand so that you can feel the God and energy in this gift that you are giving, so that you know that it's also coming back. And we read this together. God is the source of all supply. Money is God in action. What we give, we receive multiplied abundantly. All that God is, I am.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.